start streaming. As soon as it's live. So the server has been booting up for the past... now it's finally done. Okay, good. Well then, we should have everything ready, no? And there comes the teleport down, which breaks my overlay. Why is this right now effing? Like the problem, the more software you add to your software stack, it's just you run in more snags like this, and it's quite annoying. Quit. However, the simple solution, unfortunately, is just at that point shut it down and reload it, and that is relatively easy. Yeah, I've copied the password already. I just need to search for Aris. That's our browser, and I should find the server. Aris. Right. Unfortunately, I'm pretty far, I would say, away from actually having this ready to work, my tool. Like, the writer part, I think, like, the read on writer part works, but, like, I need to implement the part that extracts data out of SimHub. That needs to still be implemented, and we're otherwise far away from doing that stuff. And I've still not figured out if I want to like actually have SimHub write the data directly perhaps into the file instead of using a Rust program to do this type of work. Is everything working now? Yep. So far so good. Just need to relaunch OVR Toolkit because it walked itself as soon as ACC did its teleport down. This is fine, we can just relaunch OVR Toolkit. Mid-run application. So, right. Function F7. Yep, that brought the window in. So, right then, okay. Aggressive presets. 34 track temp, that's not particularly cold. Rear wing is quite a lot. 4. It's a lot of long straights in my opinion. Otherwise, yeah, you can't just brake pads, right? You can't just brake pads on this car. You want brake pads type 2, I'm pretty sure, on this car still. ABS and TC at 1. Otherwise, you have to switch them off, which I think that's not a good idea. Tire pressures, I think, are fine. So. We're 5 people, yeah, I think that's about as many as have signed up. Riding a bit higher up than usual. Considering my new car choices have mainly brought me to very low slung race cars at this point. With the KTM, even the 570S and the 720S. Especially. All 3 of these cars are low slung. Even the Bentley obviously is still. You sit lower down than the M2 here. Oh yeah, I forgot how much this car will sit in the same gear. The second gears are probably about as low as you're gonna ever get with this thing. It eats for tires as well, which is very surprising. Well, you can select 2 stages of ABS between off, on, off 1 and 2. You probably don't want to run off because this thing already hits the ABS quite hard due to its fixed brake bias. It's funny, like, the first part it actually made it, but like the second part of the corner it just blew past the apex completely. Slowly getting its tires up to pressure. Need to stay third, even if the urge exists to downshift. Oh, completely blew the apex there. I'm not particularly fast, so then also in front of me, not by much. Horn lapped a 224.2. Having some of the corners a lot more pace than him. 221 from him, and I will answer with a 220.7. And there's still quite a bit of time down there. It just does not want to make that apex there. Ooh, but that's so much slower. Oh, like it was faster on the apex, but like you lose so much momentum if you don't run a fast exit. Like these cars is everything on the exit speed. Like, you can utterly screw up the corner and still be relatively fast, because as long as you carry the speed out of the corner.
Yellow flag in sector 1.
Quite sub 20. We're getting there. Now, woo! The oversteer of this thing comes out of nowhere. You don't be a hero here. Just downshift the third early. Lost a lot of time there, actually. Tried to get a faster exit, but just ended up being slower. I'm right now about a second faster than everyone else. Our high tower is not set at lap time yet. I thought there were like some people with like decent rating in this race, so I thought they were like decently quick people. Maybe I'm the alien tonight. It does happen from time to time. Space in some places. What are my averages in terms of tire pressures? Overlap. Yeah, right side is under pressured. But I think also like these tires wear through way quicker than on other cars, so I know it makes no sense because these cars should probably last longer on their tires because smaller budget teams run these cars. Late like the Deutsche Bahn. Wait, what? I've pressed stream. Are you not seeing anything? Hold on. You accuse me of being late? I am streaming for the past like few minutes or so. Hold on a minute. Yeah. OBSC stream. Right, is YouTube not taking a stream? No, we're not wanting to watch this video here. Excellent connection, yeah. What are you on about, Jeff? Are you gaslighting me or something? The stream is live. Is YouTube balked that like my stream isn't even showing up to people who are on the stream? Probably he's gone by now. Let me just... What is going on there? That like he's... Me still is upcoming. YouTube, what are you doing? Because it is showing up on the dashboard correctly working. Oh, before you continue to it's like fuck off. Yeah, it is working here. Yeah, I have a stream. It's like... Okay. Well, I was live for a while already. I guess... I mean, I started about, I think, 07? Something like that. I mean, we can actually look it up. When I started. But, I've been live for 16 minutes, so... Yeah, more like 09, right? But yeah, DerGeneralFluff would say that's still on time. That's definitely still roughly on time. The server wasn't even live for a long period of time, so there's that. Oh. Yeah, okay. I thought like the stream wasn't working, so Formula. I've uninstalled. Well, which AMS? AMS 1 or 2? Because I've uninstalled 2. And I don't have AMS 1 installed right now. How much did I shred my tires in my first run? A bit? But it's all going fine, I would say. Right side tire's got a bit higher on pressure. The right sides were a bit low on pressure. We could perhaps run even less aero, so minimum aero in the car. The Formula Truck, I think I've tried them in the past once. Decently fun, I would say. Do I want to go down on my spring rate on the front? I mean, yeah, I'm already winning right now, but like, who knows? Frankly. Also, I don't know, like 62 liters. Oh, it's saying that I'm burning about 2.2 liters per lap. Which probably still means I can run probably an hour on this thing. Yeah, Hightower put his first lap and he is about 1.1 seconds off me right now. Look, the field is close by together from P2 to P5. Well, especially P2 to P4. It's like 2/10, but like then I'm like a second up on the road and then like Horn is 7/10 down. That's fun. Fortunately, I think this is about as good as it's gonna get in terms of people who can join us tonight. Sim. Well, actually, there's 6 sign-ups. I haven't refreshed the page a bit briefly. 6 sign-ups. Ashton Horton is actually higher ranked on SimGrid than me. I'm like one of the lower ranked people on the... well, anyone who was also signed up, that's why. And he's probably not gonna show. Hybrid truck, interesting. Truck racing is an interesting thing because one of like the first video games I've ever played as like a very young kid I can remember is like what was like Mercedes-Benz truck racing. It was called.
Green light, give it all you can.
Well, as the title suggests, it was like Mercedes-Benz trucks mainly. it had a lot of like the tracks of the like truck calendar on it, but like it's you mean in general, Jeff? You're probably like me who has never watched a real life race in person. Or is it just a truck race in person? Because, you know, Formula Truck you count as a European particularly watch live because, you know, it's... You need to swim through the Atlantic a bit, but even the European truck series is... It still exists in some form. There is a mod actually, an official mod for AC. And I've downloaded that one. And driven it a bit. I think I've never raced the AMS2 trucks though. Like, I don't think I've ever competed in a league race with them. Just didn't get around to it. I think nobody really hosts the guys who have raced like any AMS2 with never hosted one. Fortunately, truck series besides stockers is one of the only good industries we have here. I mean, yeah, it's like, I mean, what do we Europeans really have either? Okay, I shouldn't say that that way, but like, I mean, you have Formula 1 coming by regularly, you have the Blancpain GT series if you count that. I mean, the Nordschleife invalidates my entire argument because never mind. I will stop this train of thought down completely because this has derailed. How much fuel do I want for the race actually? This is a 20-minute race. Like, I mean, we're in qualifying right now, but like well, him saying that he watched a Formula Truck race in real life very much implied that he's Brazilian. I mean, I'm pretty sure he told me before, but like, I've very much forgotten that. Like, his brain's small at times. And refuses to remember things. Yeah, plus 0, okay, thank you. That's about 8.5 laps for a race. That would be 9, 10, 11 times. It says 2.5 right now, but it was like 2.25, I think, on fuel consumption. Yeah, it's about 27.5 liters for 2.5. Thank you, going international. Always going international. Yeah, we made it 27. So let's put 30 liters in, and we're gonna qualify on that fuel as well while we're at it. Temperatures didn't change much. Okay. Good. Okay, it's nothing really of note at this point. I'm just gonna drive. I mean, I could start at the back, honestly, but we have a race too, so we can just, you know, do the start off the back on the second race. If we want it. And it's not like with 6 people there's a massive difference in terms of starting at the back of the field or in front. Like, if you're faster than them, you're faster than them. It's not like they can do much at that point. But it... At least this car's BOP, yeah. At least I don't need to worry about BOP in this race. Frankly, I do need to try the 720S out again, because they seem to have done a hotfix to the car, which should nerf it a bit, but like the question about how much. And they say they've increased drag generation. I should probably just try it out in Paul Ricard with the with the VTuber GT settings from Saturday, and retry effectively a race run again on the car and see how the lap times are then, and if they are similar, then I'm probably fine. But if the car's suddenly fallen off by like multiple seconds, then we're gonna have a problem. Because the car was like top speed wise on the Unity Air, it wasn't particularly fast, but like, well, it isn't Unity Air. God, what is the straight called at Paul Ricard? Yeah, 720S Evo. Yep. I'm driving that for. I drove that in the last round of the VTuber GT, and I've basically switched my main and GT3 over to it. Gonna race that on Saturday again. Actually, we can just try out the car on Nürburgring because I need to practice more. I also need to figure out which GT4 to go to. Because I've been racing after yesterday. Still not sold on the crossbow. I didn't get any time to like try any of the other cars out. Maybe another day, but like I don't think today. This event is not actually that short, despite us just driving M2s for a bit. Because the 20-minute race, and because you have like, it says it's 2 hours long, the event, roughly. SimGrid, but like, not SimGrid, SGP, but like, it's 2 20-minute races and 2 10-minute qualifying sessions, and a 20-minute practice. Yeah, I can see how that adds up to 2 hours, but still, I don't think we're gonna get close to that. At least it's gonna not hopefully feel like 2 hours. Hello, everybody's coming in here. You should give the 296 a go. It's really good and stable. No, I've given it a go multiple times. I've competed at Spa with it in 2 6-hour races in one weekend. I've tested it around Watkins Glen. I did 2 weeks ago, a bit more than 2 weeks ago, a massive test on the GT3s. Well, I didn't. It's not that massive. I just like 5 cars out at Watkins Glen, comparing them to my race pace in the previous day's race, and the Lexus went like nearly half. Sort of produced the same pace as the Bentley, but was like slower. The M4 immediately went like nearly a second faster. Half a second to a second faster. 296 the same. And the McLaren was very similar as well, and even down to like nearly a full, a bit more than a full second at that point. But I like the handling of the McLaren more. It's more stable. The 296 is unpredictable. It is. I don't quite like it. Is like the rear end ends up when you're turning in sometimes just being undefined for the steering wheel. It's strange. If the setup is well balanced like the Spa set I had, Lloyd did some amazing work on the. Well, he used like some totally legitimately acquired paid setup, but. Yeah, that thing just handled like a dream. You just turn it in and it turned. Yes, the 296 is still very stable. Even when it starts stepping out, it will rarely murder you still. But it feels with like the same volatility that like a Porsche has nearly. And the steering, it just isn't quite what I would like it to be. I can't quite trust it. And the McLaren is just the McLaren. It is really predictable, and you can just chuck it in and it will stick. And I utterly dominated on Saturday last week with the McLaren, so at Paul Ricard, so that's why I need to kind of just retest it to see if the hotfix that recently came out made some changes.
Session is now.
Created there's work to do on the standard setup to make it more agile. Yeah, I've also had the experience of like I tried just after 1.9 came out the car around Valencia on like I think a used setup or something or whatever that guy's name is, and it was super unstable, and like I switched over to the Bentley and went faster than that, so that says something. Maybe the Bentley does relatively well at Valencia, but I don't think so. It potentially, because you know the Bentley does well at Zandvoort. Probably still does. Probably does also well at Solder. You know, you can draw a lot of similarities between the Bentley and the KTM Crossbow. Funnily enough. I am already on my like down cooldown lap technically. Let's just continue driving. But yeah, it is kind of the thing, like some ballast. When did he ask me that? I didn't see that before. Let's pull it over. Yeah. Yeah, we could just fill up the fuel tank just to cause a bit of havoc. Totally. 85 liters as I go. Alright then. But yeah, we got actually sub to sub the 2-minute 20 mark now. Just about. How were my sector times? They were faster sector 1, faster sector 2, and faster and slower sector 3 comparatively. Well, actually faster sector 3. No, it was slower sector 3. I didn't have in practice actually the fastest sector 3. Someone else had it. On qualifying I did have all the fastest sectors. Together. I didn't quite gap the other guy, High Tower, by more than a second. Yeah, let's just see. But yeah, I like the 720S. It's as long as they didn't nerf the car into the ground, I'm probably fine. And I don't think they nerfed it into the ground. I don't think that happened. He might have just nerfed it a bit, and I think frankly the car needs to probably be nerfed more. If you can win at poor card dominating fashion with the car, it's probably a bit broken. But yeah, it happens. In comparison, but yeah, for GT4 I still need some car, because it's like, it is the problem, as I've said like a few times now. It's, if you don't drive the competitive cars, you might as well go home, frankly. And this is the advantage of this race here. You do not need to pick the competitive car. It is just one. There's no driving the uncompetitive car full of memes.
Low tire pressure, stay away from curbs.
Right, we can make ourselves onto the journey, the long journey for a formation lap with this car. Actually, it's not that long, because I think these formation laps are standardized with how long and fast they are. Actually, my water bottle is still on my table. Let me just drive a bit ahead, I think. I'm sitting a bit offset right now. But like, I think the formation lap does not change its speed due to us being M2s, because the speed is always the same, I think, for formation laps. It's actually, we're driving the formation lap probably relatively faster than we would on another cars. And how far am I still? I think I'm not gonna reach my water bottle without pulling over. And I'm not sure I wanna mess with these guys completely. I'm really just gonna race like this. I'm gonna survive 20 minutes hopefully without water. Oh, I'm too far ahead. Seating for position Formula M2. Yeah, because I was sitting in the center of the car. Well, like a McLaren F1. What is it called again? I think it was called the F1. But for some reason I'm not quite sure it is called the F1. Don't ask me why, I'm unsure. The old hypercar. If this was a manual, I would have been worried. In terms of me sitting in the center. Well, my shifter's actually to the left, so I'm not sitting on my shifter when I move like that, because you know it would be unpractical to exit and enter the rig from the right hand side if the shifter's mounted here. I can mount it. I have a piece of wood there to mount it onto, but like I don't usually mount it there due to it being, you know, uncomfortable to exit and enter. And whenever I need a shifter is oftentimes when I go into the wagon and the like, so, you know. That's when the shifter is fitted onto the right, on the left hand side correctly. Well, I don't go there often either. Just it's stored well there, and whenever I actually need it, it is also kind of well placed there. Because unfortunately, Thrustmaster's quick release system is rubbish, and I don't want to swap wheels regularly due to it. So the question is, which gear do we start in?
Green light, go, go, go.
Well, second is correct, but man, we got snuffed there.
Car on the left. Clear on the left.
I'm still running away from them. Or maybe, I don't know. I have to figure it out. Yeah, actually they are faster through the corners there, so this might actually... BUP actually be. That's unconventional, peaceful and clean start. Well, yesterday's start was relatively clean, I would say. Slipstream is probably strong, however, with these guys. And yeah, we're not breaking away right now. Although I ran the chicane a lot faster than them. Could upset my tire pressures completely, this fuel load. Well, yeah, if it exits the realm, it exits the realm. Get to that point. Did it a bit. But yeah, we've actually got a breakaway now. I don't think about at this distance he will pick up any slipstream anymore. Because yeah, these big things are massive brick walls and probably generate a good amount of draft. But also you, due to the slower speeds, don't pick up a draft from further back. On faster cars you can draft over longer distances. He was had a faster run out of Spoon there than me. Fuel calculating success right now, fuel lasts for 40 minutes. I think it's a bit more than like an hour. In 40 minutes, probably even more than that, or like 2 or 3 hours perhaps, because I think it's not calculating currently correctly due to this being just the first flyer that we're coming up to complete here. Now pressures are actually not high enough on the left hand side right now.
Fastest lap of the race, man. Good job.
A very satisfying car through the corners. You mean this M2 here? That's an interesting car, I would say, at times through the corners. Because it can randomly start breaking loose on you. Especially on the throttle, like there. But it is kind of like quite satisfying. Like, yeah, it obviously doesn't have like turning of a GT3, right? But like, I wouldn't say it's particularly understeery. Like, it's not much more understeery than a GT4. It is relatively well balanced. Like, yeah, you need to mind the weight of this machine. It's not light. On a long shot. It is a decently fun machine. Last time I've driven it was in an LFM race. At Barcelona. It's like the single time I've actually used this car before. And there I didn't like finish it up too high, but like, man, there was a massive accident. Also, I talked about how you can catch Phoebus in the Generation 3 Pokemon. Yeah, that's a thing that happened. Because I was trying to catch it at the time. And it was painful. Due to the variety of reasons that involve the convoluted process of catching it. The guy behind me has just stole my fastest lap. What do you mean? That's not gonna stick for me? I don't think I wanna. Leave it at that. But it's probably not by much he's beaten actually my lap time. Problem is I don't think I'm gonna find much on my lap. Yes, to have formed a slight breakaway group. Yeah, that's a bit behind us. That's a bit fast. Yeah, that was where I can find a bit more pace. Man, he's actually run down me hard again towards the end of the lap. Holy hell. Like, I gapped him like for over half a second over the lap.
Fastest lap of the race, man. Good job.
I still snagged the fastest lap back, but still, where did he get all the time back? Oh fuck, I fucked the corner up. That's also interesting, like I only lost 2/10 blowing the corner there. Both on my Delta and a TM, so that was a real loss. But yeah, for some reason at times, like, I am significantly faster than him. In other sections of the track I'm not. He's gaining on me quite a lot. Maybe he's still actually picking up slipstream back there. Because I am running apparently away in the corners, but like on the straights he was faster than me, so I don't know. Because I'm running as low as the rear wing goes. Oh, blew the cone again. Yeah, I'm bleeding actually quite a lot of time right now. This is not good because he's actually gotten quite a lot closer to that. If I decide to race through the field next race, it's gotta be a bit difficult to actually win it. Because that guy is not slow. I think he just needed a few more laps to get the hang of the machine. And granted, we're still carrying a lot more weight around the track, but like, is it really making the difference? Or is it likely that the guy just needed more laps? Likely the latter. I don't know how often these guys race M2s. I mean, the series is weekly, right? And my stomach is churning again. Despite that was in the toilet like, I don't know, just over an hour ago. Come on, body, you don't need to do shit like this. You don't need to go to the shit every like 2 hours or something. That's not fun. Oh yeah, my previous lap was also, previous fastest was also like not particularly fast for turn 1. You know, you can easily lose all the time through the S's without even making a mistake for it. It is so weird. Like, oh yeah, you've lost like a 10th there because you existed. I don't know, the gods of sim racing have decided that this line is not perfect enough and have deducted a 10th of your lap time. It is that arbitrary, frankly. It's very interesting how a title line is faster there. Obviously carrying the speed out of this corner. And per millimeter taking 0.2 seconds yield, yeah. It do be feeling like that. Guess it's just a bit of a curse with the slower cars. Like, larger mistakes are more forgiven, you don't lose as much time, but like smaller mistakes, when you're pushing for like the last hundreds and thousands of seconds, well, there's no forgiveness for you with these cars. there's enough people who have enough time to waste with them, or actually Max Verstappen or something. You end up sometimes getting utterly obliterated in these vehicles for no particular reason. Well, the reason that your opponent is quite a bit more skillful than you, and for some reason due to that is able to just extract a massive amounts of pace out of the car that you have no chance in extracting. And I mean, even me being like a second faster in like practice or qualifying, that's not even as extreme as this occasionally happens with these slower category cars. Like, I've done AC MX5 races, and they're like Berardi, the fast guy. You join the server, the fast guys are like going 4 seconds faster than you. Funnily enough, you drive enough laps and you suddenly are actually roughly there. Like, you can actually catch up to them, but like at first it looks like, why the hell are these guys like on a 50-second track suddenly gaining like 4 seconds on me? The gap fluctuates backwards quite a lot. And there's like a 13... pay attention, Lucas, don't look at the delta. There's like a 13-second gap right now between P3 and P4. And a 10-second gap between P2 and P3. They were at some point close to each other, but I guess there was an accident and these guys have dropped apart. I lost a lot of time there due to oversteer. Yeah, as I was saying before the race, like all of these people on the server basically have like 7,000 or 8,000 SGP rating. So they're in the same ballpark as me, which is like the upper ballpark, I would say. Like when you see someone at like 7,000, 8,000, you know they mean business. They're usually fast drivers. It also indicates they drive relatively regularly to end up at these numbers. I was looking at the grid for like who has signed up for VTuber GT with which car, and it's like there was like Panic Fungus, who's like an NSX driver, at least last season. I think he's still signed up with an NSX. And he had like 50 rating. I'm like, what? How do you end up with 50 rating? And I look at his like profile, and it's like, yeah, missed race, and it's like, okay, fine, that explains everything. He's signed up for like 70 races on SGP, and he's attended like 30 of them. He's missed about as many races as I have, and I have like 240 races on SGP run. Like, We have 270 signed up, 240 run. Like, that's not even a great particularly statistic, but like, it's still a lot better than him. And then you suddenly like, oh yeah, that explains everything, because if you miss a race, you lose immediately 500 rating. With a doubleheader, you can lose like 1000. I think occasionally it subtracts only 300, but like, usually you get for a missed race like 500 flat off it. So whenever he gets like, if he attends a race and like gains like 600 rating or something, like 1000 or nearly, because he's not that incompetent as a driver. The rating system will just slam him back down due to his missed races. I mean, I've dropped off. I've been at times up to like 9,000 on the rating scale, and I went down to like 7,000, and now it's like 7,500. This race will actually boost my rating a lot, because the strength of field is stupid due to everybody else being stronger than me, technically.
Well done, well managed. Bring it back home.
I still have 63 liters in the tank there, after a 20-minute race. An hour and 6 minutes of fuel remaining at this point. So, you can't run quite 90 minutes on this fuel tank, I guess. Well, that's race 1. We have race 2 still coming up. We have to first qualify for it, though. How did tires do after this race? Tires at 4, worn down to 2.6 on the front. Inside, outside is not so far worn down. But I'm not sure if like dropping the camber would help the car at all. I guess it's quite a significant amount of wear, but I don't think it's too bad. Pressures at times were a bit low, I guess. I don't know. I think they got a bit on the low side. Otherwise, I would say the car did fine. She did do a bit of a breakaway at the end there. A couple of like faster times in. My lap times were a 220.4, 220.4, a 220.1, a 21.0, a 20.6, a 20.6 with an invalidation, 20.3 and a 20.7. Guy finishing behind me, Hightower, did a 21.0, 20.3, 20.0. So 21.0, 20.3, 20.0, 20.9, 20.7, 20.6, 20.9, 21.1. And how yeah, he put in... Oh, his 20.0 got invalidated, so he invalidated quite a few laps there actually on that race. His fastest was a 20.352, and that was valid. And mine is a 20.187. Yeah, that's the front tires for a 20-minute race. It's come near me again, and there will be trouble, said Ashwater. Oh, there must have been some beef there. Fortunately, I think we're not going to be able to find anything before the race ends properly. Oh yeah, it switched.
Green light, green light.
Qualifying 2 now. Right, we're gonna start off the back of the field here, so it's gonna be fun. I think I'm gonna keep the full fuel though, still. I think it is definitely gonna be putting my chances to win actually on risk, not qualifying. Is anybody gonna drive out? Yeah, who is gonna take the shot first? Oh, Cloudy. There's no audio? I think there's audio now. Let me just ignite briefly. Yeah. Audio still working. I just have to verify that everything. Blame Andy for leaving me in charge, right? Right. There's another trigger. What's ping? Right. Okay then. Well, is there anything right now happening? I probably asked us like what you're using as a microphone. The Valve Index. It is the microphone of the Valve Index that I'm using. It is. It has a surprisingly good microphone. It is genuinely really good. Huge is doing a merch drop on Uvo markets. Uvo. That's interesting. Although I should stop buying fucking VTuber merch. God damn it, I'm buying too much of this shit. I mean, yeah, the Index microphone is really good. Genuinely. It's kind of an issue because like if I do any desktop streams or like just sit in a voice chat, the Logitech G633 headset, I think it is the name of it. Well, I mean the audio on it is good, but like the microphone isn't quite. You know, my quality is not great on that thing, and it sucks. I mean, I've done that one coding stream, but the thing is, recently it's been starting to act up. At least when I'm like in Discord calls with friends, and it's like it's just like doing noises for no reason. It sounds like I'm not that I'm breathing into the microphone, but it sounds like I'm grabbing the microphone and shaking it around, basically, when I'm not doing that. And basically grabbing it and folding it up to mute it and folding it back down and like sliding it out and in, like, kind of fixes it. It's weird that I don't quite like it. It's strange. Maybe I need to buy a proper microphone for my desktop, I guess. Maybe. Yeah, and that Logitech headset is old at this point. Like, I tried to get the ear muffin started to fall off, so I tried to get replacement ear muffin, and Logitech had still them listed on their site. But when you tried to press buy, it was like, nope, sold out. And I'm just like, well, thanks. Not sold out, but like currently unavailable. It's like, Okay, so when are you? Like, we're not gonna tell you. And when you went to the American side, you actually could buy them still, which was weird. So like, okay. So I looked at a few months later, and it's like, okay, fine. I just went to Amazon, bought like some third-party ones. They did the job. Alright, so that sucks. But yeah, I bought these. I've also like went through like a bunch of like USB cables for it at this point, because it plugs in at the bottom with micro USB on the left hand side, and it's like, well, the original lasted a bit, but like it died at some point, right? So, well, try a new USB. Like, literally bought a micro USB cable at the store, right, for like 3-meter cable for like $15, right? Dies like 2 weeks later. Yeah. Problem is, the data connection gets flaky on the cable, so like you can relatively easy check if like the cable is like has a break in it. Like you plug your phone in and then you move your the cable a bit, and if the phone starts disconnecting, like yeah, the cable is dead again. Like you can charge still, but the data connection can't hold, so the headset starts cutting in and out, disconnecting and reconnecting. It just sucks. So I went through like a few cables. I tried like an angled one to like run over that just runs over my shoulder. So I'm running it usually over my shoulder. So instead of coming out straight on the bottom like the old did, it comes directly pointing forward and down, because most angled connectors made it that it went forward. That one failed relatively quickly. I bought another one. And that one has been another cable, and that thing luckily has been lasting now. And even the angled cable started like breaking, because it's constantly like after the connector it starts. After the plastic bit, it obviously the cable still needs to go route downwards, down to the floor, and then back up. I mean, that connector was also shorter. I just used an USB extension on it, so. And this one was like, I think, a full 3-meter cable that I bought. I've been looking if like, you know, somebody else like perhaps sells one. For like USB-C cables maybe. Because yes, I use micro USB still for most things, because my phone is still micro USB. At least it's easier to replace them than with some headphones. Yeah, I had an old like headphone that had like was just a straight up USB cable into the PC, and like the volume. I used it for ages, and like even like when that failed, I used like another one we had of it that we bought of it. Or something like, and I used that one, and like that failed. And since then, like my brother had this G633 laying around. He didn't use it, so like I got it. So it's technically not even mine, right? And I've been like spending a bunch of money on cables to replace cables and earbuds to keep it alive effectively. Because it's decent still enough. It does its job. Whenever I'm like sitting in front of my desk, so that's well enough. But yeah, I've been looking a bit at USB-Cs, because there's like 3 devices now in my room, at least, at USB-C, being my index controllers. Both of them use 2 index controllers use USB-C, and they came with USB-A to C cable, so that's neat. But the other thing that uses USB-C is my Switch. So yeah, that's been. And I mean, I'm thinking of it obviously for a while now for buying a new phone, so that will then use USB-C. But like if I do full body tracking with my Vive trackers. Those Vive trackers are USB-C. The battery banks that are attached to the track straps are USB, not USB-C, they're micro USB. The track straps that they attach to a micro USB. The old battery bank that I think I should probably throw out because it doesn't hold a charge anymore is micro USB. I think another battery bank I have somewhere laying around is micro USB. It's like the good ones are the ones with only one speaker on one side. When it breaks, it goes entirely. Yeah, right. It's just not. Well, just like these like $10 in-ear headphones that like they suffer a cable break after like a year or two of usage, but they're still so great because you know they're $10, right? So replacing them is cheap, and one of the big and the advantages they're cable. So they never run out of charge, which is something I've been having massive issues with the pair of like Bluetooth headphones I have. The pair of Bluetooth in-ears is like, I think it is 50-50 chance when I grab them and like pull them out that they're like the battery's dead. Despite that they've been in their charge case the entire time, and the charge case has usually still charged. I mean, sometimes I forget to charge it. It's like very rarely. Usually it has charge. And for some reason they just like didn't connect correctly and just are now sitting there and just didn't charge. And I'm just like, well, thank you. I wanted to use you now and you didn't work. Go F yourself. And then the connection quality is shit. Like sometimes it just cuts out. Despite that the phone is like a couple of like less than half a meter away from them. Like, come on. What are you guys doing? It is obnoxious. Bluetooth is great for like the keyboard I'm having on my lap here, right? That works utterly perfect. Other things work with Bluetooth well, like game controllers. Yes, I'm gonna go there and say game controllers work well over Bluetooth. I know the wired crowd is gonna be like, oh no, but like latency, like brah. These controllers these days like run at like latencies of like half a second. It's not half a second, sorry, that would be terrible. But you have like latencies of like 3.5 milliseconds or something. Like, brah. It's not noticeable enough. Like, okay, sure, if you're the type of person who runs super high-end mice or something to reduce latency, yeah, this becomes probably noticeable. But otherwise, Bluetooth works fine for like a PS4 controller or the Qualy kit controller I'm using usually when I play on controller. But you don't have to worry about the wires because I've been a long-time wired person that keeps just everything wired. Using cable defaults, it doesn't even have a PS2 connector. You mean a headphone jack? 3.5mm, because PS2 connector would be the mouse port on a PC. The good old mouse ports that I think also don't really exist anymore on PCs. I think my motherboard still has one. But usually they have at maximum one these days. Otherwise they don't even put any anymore on the PC. They don't even bother giving you them. Because who has a mouse that actually uses that? Actually, I do have a few keyboards and mice laying around that like use it. Especially like one Logitech ball mouse that like has 3 buttons. So you don't have a scroll wheel, you just have a third button in the middle. I've played like Minecraft once with it for like as a joke. Like ran my old FX 6300 with the GTX 960. Booted up Minecraft on it, booted up Linux and Minecraft on it. And played with a ball mouse. It's the combination of like one of the most cursed setups you can humanly imagine. But it worked. So that's the great part. Right, we should probably switch the headlights on, you know. The others have them on as well. But yeah. I mean, I've been looking at like perhaps buying Fairphone. I guess you can actually install your own OS. It's not just... They don't lock shit down to like the nth degree, so that's why I kind of consider them. Although it seems they're releasing a new models relatively soonish, so I'm just like, I'm gonna have to stay back on this one a bit till I'm gonna make a decision and wait a bit longer. I mean, somehow my the only reason I still have a piece because it's an old IBM keyboard I have and I love it. Yeah, I've heard this a few times that apparently people love the IBM keyboards, the old 80s and 90s IBM keyboards. I'm too young for this, so I don't know them. I have a keyboard that sounds like a shitty mechanical shitty loud mechanical keyboard, but in fact is a membrane keyboard. Somehow. That is the weirdest thing. The keyboard on my desk is in fact the membrane one and not a mechanical. Somehow. And it is strange to say the least. Like you pull the keycaps off and it looks like, oh yeah, this is a mechanical switch. No, you pull this thing. It's just a plastic plunger that the keycap slots into. That has a base around it, and that you then, if you pull these pieces off, you see the membrane underneath.
Green light. Give it all you got.
I don't know, I experienced it too. It's like, yeah, I mean, probably that's Logitech mouse that I have is probably also from like that time period roughly. Probably like a clone of the IBM mouse or something. Maybe a bit younger, but late 90s or something. Early 2000s, although at some point mouse wheels were invented and put standard onto mice. Hightower did not start at the front of the field, so... Oh, I fucked that up. Yeah, tech pros. I mean, I have from my dad, I have an NES. So... That's a thing I have from him. I haven't played it much. Played it a bit a few months back. Tried it out if like it works and stuff, and yeah, it works perfectly fine. I guess, although I'm not like the picture quality was quite shite, but could be just the TV maybe not liking the input from the console, or maybe there's like a capacitor going down in it, and that's why the output is a bit iffy. I slightly suspect the TV because the Tetris blocks were not squared. Like they were stretched in one dimension, in one direction. They were stretched. I'm not sure which one it was. It made playing Tetris quite difficult because you couldn't judge quite how wide your gaps were at the bottom of the screen that you were trying to slot stuff into. Like stuff, it was weird in that sense. weirdest part is the cartridge of The Legend of Zelda still has a save file on it. And that thing is still running on the original battery. That button cell has been holding on for over 30 years. Keeping the save file safe. Tetris Wide Edition. The hard-coded high scores in that game are like trivial, by the way. Something I find interesting. Like, people say the old games were like difficult, but like, I don't know, the high scores they give you there for the game is like, they are trivially easy to beat. Like, sure, the game can kick your ass when you hit the later stages, but like, they did not expect the player to actually get to those ever, really. They expect the player to like struggle to even just beat the high scores.
Car on the right. Clear on the right. Well done, mate. Your fastest step so far.
Oh, fuck. Four car not found. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say this car's particularly hard to save when it starts getting sideways. As long as you have at least a reaction time of something, it should get that stuff relatively easily up. But you need to do something. Okay, this guy broke very early there.
Car on the right. Clear on the right.
Oh, that's not gonna work for me. Oh fuck!
Car on the right. Clear on the right. There's some light damage on the left of the car.
Pain! How stupid was I? Ugh! Just murderized that poor fella completely. And now I have to overtake the difficult guy again. he returned to the pits. I mean, he hit the wall, I think, pretty hard there. Down a bit on the straights, it seems. Maybe it's the aero damage from that collision. I'm not so sure. We seem to just not make any inroads anymore at this point. Right. Okay. Focus. Get them back again. He blew the corner completely. It's brought me a lot closer to him. Oh, I still need to get by. How much damage do I have? 6 seconds.
Gaining on the driver ahead in sector 3. Well done, mate. Fastest lap of the race so far. We are at the halfway mark. Keep pushing.
Okay, somebody's off. Green car's back on. Halfway.
Car on the left. Clear on the left.
Okay. Well, that works as well.
Clear on the right.
Oh dear, the guy that I took out is 8 seconds ahead of us. He doesn't seem to be going for revenge right now because he's still pacing, but you know, in case we're coming up to lap him. Right, 1.7 seconds, let's go. Let's see if we can run this guy down. Eight minutes to go. We're a lot faster for the chicane there. Yeah, despite the fight there, we still end up pacing faster than him last lap around. It's a bit fast, but we actually pulled it up. Oh, blew the corner now. I think he has very specific corners that I'm a lot faster than him. But otherwise he's pacing the same pace as me, which is, you know, kind of not surprising considering it's the same car. And it'll probably produce, when it starts hitting like VMAX, it's like gonna produce relatively similar top speeds, you know? Stops being surprising at that point. Yeah, he's avoiding the curbs there completely. He's just not running them. And you can see, like, that's half a second just wiped out of a gap there. Like, he loses like 4/10 to like half a second there through the chicane just because he doesn't run over the curbs. You could just in the distance see here, the other guy drive around the corner. On the 404 car. And he's a lot slower through the S section here. Can we do the slingshot? Nah, we can't. Because you can't pass people by diving up the inside of this corner. That is, if you can just line it up that you carry way more speed through the last right-hander there. And then just slingshot alongside them. Into the next corner. It works mainly in like multi-class, I guess. But I have pulled it off for legit overtakes as well in the past. So it is possible, it's just Formula driver. Well, I don't know if the Formula 1 cars could like front the curb there. I mean, they're not that flat, but... Oh fuck. No! He had a spin in sympathy. Like, come on. I'm not gonna pass you like this. But like, this was like basically my chance goal, and then he looped it basically as well. I don't know, I thought I broke at the right point, but like, something must have gone wrong there. Okay, he's taking the curbs wrong, I guess. That's why he's thinking I set the car too much to be worth it. This is Symphony, the M2 Belay. Yeah, well, the others are coming in as well.
Car on the right. Clear on the right.
Oh, he's wide.
Car on the right. Clear on the right.
Oh, there was an accident behind me. Oh, they've both wiped out. Tie tower back up to P2. We've basically restored the order of race 1. They both wiped each other out. That sucks for like, I think it was it Horton or Horn that was leading the race? Almost that she was leading right now. And well, unfortunately ended up wiping each other out. I just about stole the lead from him, but then just they wipe each other out. Ah, that sucks. I didn't see what that quite happened there, but like, I mean, it sucks that I took the guy out because yeah, it would have been nicer to. Oh fuck! That's not light. That's definitely not light, game. What the fuck are you on about? Right, we have to drive one more lap like this. We have 2 seconds worth of cab. This is gonna get really spicy now. Bruh, what the hell?
Stay focused.
That is a jinx and a half, yeah. For me. But I'm keeping pace right now. I'm actually keeping pace right now. Somehow. Don't ask me how. We have 2 seconds still. Although it is dropping now. And definitely the bodywork is snagging on something. I mean, he might also be damaged. I don't know what he's driving that he's... Because if I would see my opponent drop 4 seconds, I would just put the fucking pedal down then and run. And just get the fuck out. Luckily we can still turn both directions considering how much steering damage we have. And yeah, the front tires are cooking as well. Right, we didn't even get the fastest lap in the race. That went to the guy that I took out. What it is. It's a minute 11 with damage repairs. So that's like 41 seconds? No, don't kill me again, you stupid curb. I don't know what the guy behind was doing, but he was definitely not pushing anymore. Oh yeah, he had the accident with the other guy up at the hairpin. Maybe that's where he had some damage. Oh yeah, actually Horton finished second again. What happened there behind? Like Hightower's back to fourth. This is spicy end. What the hell just happened there? But, well, everybody left. So he's finishing there. Hightower's car was also quite damaged as well. Okay, well, I guess. Yeah, that's probably part of the explanation what happened. I'm gonna look at the replay for this, like... Yeah, okay. This like... Yeah, I guess that's the answer. He was running with similar damage, which is gonna probably check after the session, right? Yeah. So, right. Okay, let's go into the replays and check out what the fuck happened at the end. Right, we can also check out when I wiped the other guy out. Oh, it was the lap before actually. Here it is, Hooter. Up the inside of him here. Going down to thirds. Get a wiggle. Yeah, I just don't run a tight enough line there. That's the problem. I don't respect where the edge of the track is, because he's just following the right hand side of the track here, and I just keep sliding out wider and wider and just to slide into him. That fucking sucks. I did this. And well, I get immediately passed by Hightower due to that. You can also watch the Hightower dive here. My car was a bit scraped up at this point. Up the inside here. Ooh, that's close. And he sends the dive and it just... due to that I get by. He lets the other guy by. That's that for Horn. Now I'm... run the other guy down. No, not this lap, I guess. Next lap. He's defensive into turn 1 here. He's not taking the... He's allowing me to be on the outside there. He could have just tried to squeeze me off. Yeah, he had to counteract some oversteer there. Yeah, he runs a shallow line into here. And it just... I guess if he just too early throttle. The line just wasn't quite there where it's supposed to be. And then he has Horn on the inside. But oh, it was Horton at corner out more like. He bounces over the curb too much and that's just what's upsets him. Oh, that sucks. Well, that explains how Hightower got by them again. Had he in the meantime picked up more damage? Well, his contact went damaged then. He was running behind Horn. Did he do the same mistake I did? Not here, at least not here. Didn't get here ejected into a wall. By the time the overtake happens, he looked to be more damaged. Or is it now reset the damage from just scrolling a bit back? No! No, he did lose it here. In the short period of time between these two incidents, he lost it there. Going up the hill. That is quite oh yeah, that car looks also quite knackered at this point. Like, he doesn't seem to have too much steering damage in comparison to me. But like, he just... His cal seems to be very unstable like mine was. Once he put some inputs in. Like, Yeah, he's turning into here, and whoa, no rear end. That's more unstable than mine, frankly. Holy shit, that is even more unstable than mine. Like, his steering is fine, I would say. It's just, he probably has a broken toe link on the back. And the aero is gone. Like, ACC doesn't rip rear wings off, as far as I know. Or maybe it does? I'm not sure. In any case, cars don't... Well, yeah, there I am, like, rejoining the track. He could literally see me recover. He could literally watch me rejoin the track there. It was that bad. So the others are, like, quite a bit back then. After their escapade, so, like, now it's starting the final lap here, and it's just... This is something. This is... Also, you saw a wiggle there in front from me. These guys are closing in slowly. He's nursing his car. What was actually my final lap? That would be... I didn't check that. That would have been interesting to know how slow my final lap was. Yeah, there was another wiggle for me. You can see them slowly catching in here. Well, quite quickly, honestly. But yeah, it was like in the last 2 laps everything happened. Like the order changed, like the entire order changed like 3 times or something. It's nuts in 2 laps. I mean, granted, these 2 laps were like nearly 5 minutes long, but like, you know, take what you will. Right, they're catching up pretty badly on him right now. Yeah, probably an extra lap and they would have even caught up to me. The question is if they would have gotten by me, because I would have not made them an easy time. I mean, my car, it looks from the front way more damaged. Like, just look at the steering inputs. He looks way more tame at this point in comparison. But here they are, they've caught all the way up now. They're at strike distance at this point. I know he got a wiggle there. That took him off the track. So it's just... He doesn't have particularly much exit speed, but... That would also probably have killed me just on the final... if there would have been one more extra lap, because the straight line speed, he just gets run by these guys. And here, yeah, he missed the apex there again and just gets mugged for the 3rd position as well. Yeah, I just about escaped there. Because as you can see, they're coming for me. And considering the end of the lap at Suzuka is just straight, they would have just gone easily by me if there would have been another lap. I would have held them off till the last sector, but no chance. Up until that, I could have held them up until there, but like, man. Let's watch the accident again here. On board. 130R, down gear to 4th. Run up to a curb, fine, and now it goes. And it was quite an impact there. Yeah, but like, it just everything happened there in like massive changes in the order happened at like 4 corners. I overtook for the lead on the penultimate lap. The guy that is what's his name again? Hightower. He crashes in the same corner behind me, and then the other 2 crash into each other a corner later. What? And then like a handful of corners other end of the lap, I crash out and like make it suddenly a bit more spicy, even though it didn't change the end result of the race. Like, yeah, it is such a weird curb. It has killed many of people in GT3s and other cars alike. You just drive on it, it sometimes just ejects you into the wall. And I've demonstrated, yes, you can do that same thing with the M2. Frankly, you probably shouldn't be touching that curb in the M2, because I had noticed that, like, running a tighter line through the corner is faster. Like, just yeeting it into 130R is not fast. You're probably better off driving slower in, and then carrying more speed out of it, which will lead you onto a shallower line out of the corner, than actually running it deep and running deep over the curb on the outside. That doesn't actually help with 130R, with at least this car. So yeah, that's the thing. Man, how damaged this car was. But yeah, classic me who is just like, yep, this works fine, I can drive this. Like, this thing is so utterly toast. Does this car have an LSD? I think you can adjust the... we have to load it up briefly in-game. I think you can adjust the preload, which would mean it has a limited slip diff. I'm pretty sure... I don't think anybody would race an open diffed car at this point anymore. If you're not racing like a like, heck, even I think the road car Mazda has a limited slip diff these days. Like, even the MX-5s have limited slip diffs, I think, now. I don't know if they back in the day had open diff. I don't think any... Like, yes, road car probably are still sold with it, but... Like, you go over, like, any modicum of, like, level of racing, and you probably have a limited slip already. Yeah, probably. As I said, I think even the freaking road car version of the M2 has a limited slip. There's no reason to not put a limited slip diff into a car, honestly, these days. I don't think there's a reason, honestly. Even with road cars, you might, like, save a buck or something. And that might be still the point, but, like, as soon as you get, like, modicum performance level car, you probably put a limited slip diff, because it's just better. Oh yeah, right, we wanted to load the M2. M2, confirm, start session. We're gonna go to Darlington briefly, because that's what I had still selected here. So setup, current setup, and yep, there's preload. You can't adjust the preload on the differential. That's not possible. You're stuck at 20 Newton meters, but at least claims on here that this thing has a rear preload, which means there is a limited slip differential, because otherwise you can't adjust jack shit. Because an open diff would have nothing there. Right, so that was an eventful race. Like, despite being 5 cars only, we got still some good racing, despite us being probably outclassing our competition, frankly. Even but unfortunately, it's just we still got the results. Yeah, that's what we're waiting for, right? Okay then. I think this ties it all up for you tonight. Tomorrow, well, around this time, will be the final round of the Sibsexter competition, which will feature me driving the Maserati last time at Brands. Looking forward to it. It is the old fighting place of this car. It had proven itself quite a bit at Brands in the past. It Maserati was relatively competitive there. If it still is the big question. So we will have to see. We will really have to see if we're gonna how we're gonna compete there. We just about clutched a win at Misano, but will we be so lucky next time around? Will we be able to go faster again? Maybe. I think we could still go a bit faster. Brands, but like I don't think we're gonna be back where it was before. It would be nice to finish off with a W tomorrow, but like I don't know if we're gonna be. It depends on who shows up for that championship. If the fast guy from race 1 shows up again, I doubt. If the guy who I fought last time around, possible. Depends on how well his car does there. Otherwise, I think it's gonna be maybe interesting to see off the car. Right. And then on Saturday we're back to, what's it called? Trackalicious. Nürburgring 6 hours. First race championship, attempt number 2 at it. So, because 2 weeks ago we tried that and it didn't work because the matchmaking servers went down, but we needed them the most, so F. We ended up just, so the event got postponed by 2 weeks. So we're back for round 1. McLaren 720S. Evo running with Jeff. We have to figure out what our strategy is in terms of who's starting and who's running the car for the first stints, for the stints. We will be probably running a 5-stint strategy. We have to recycle tires because you have only 4 sets for the weekend. So that's fun. It's gotta be something to overcome there. Right. Gotta be interesting, that one. Not expecting to finish too high up. Although I wasn't particularly low down in because half the qualifying ran before they cancelled the event. But like it seems there are not too many teams with like odd numbers, and we're one of the few teams with odd numbers, so me being relatively high up probably doesn't mean anything. We're probably more like looking at qualifying at best in the top 15. But I think Jeff's pace would probably also put us further back down. So who knows? We're gonna see what we can do there. There's I think 50 cars or something signed up for it, so you know, getting into the upper half of the field is gonna be already half the fight. But because that thing is a qualifier for that like SimGrid event, it's gotta be there's quite some tough competition. Right, okay then. Alright then. Well, you're probably gone already. I would just say good night. Bye bye.